Central Everon burst into violence today, with American forces reporting combat at 3 key locations in the middle section of the island. And this morning, almost simultaneously, multiple points of contact were reported between US forces and what has been claimed to be FIA rebels. Our camera crews, along with those of the Associated Press International Service, captured these intense scenes of combat that played out all across the middle section of the small island that is home to some 30,000 residents. Amidst a violent rainstorm, at 9 a.m. local time this morning, evacuation and shelter-in-place orders went out across local radio stations in 3 cities in central Everon, the small villages of Figari and Entre-Deux, and the large central city of Montagnac. By 11 a.m., US forces were engaged in fierce gunfights at all 3 locations, with the bulk of the fighting reported in the fields and forests between Entre-Deux and Montagnac. The Associated Press camera crew filmed what was later determined to be an Mi-8 helicopter, a Soviet design, but also known to be in the service of the FIA. Casualties were reported at all locations, but by mid-afternoon, the gunfire subsided. Air cavalry units stationed at Figari were seen running multiple sorties all throughout the day, and even by the evening, we still witnessed troops being ferried to various points of contact. The official line from the Pentagon is that a pro-communist FIA splinter group, encouraged by the Soviet presence in the south, were responsible for the engagements. But this has come under scrutiny from many in the political aperture of Washington, as Soviet troops were reported in the area a few hours prior to the engagements. Only time will tell the truth, but if it was the Soviets, this would mark a drastic escalation in the seemingly subsiding Cold War between the 2 superpowers. With CBS News, I'm John Thornton in Central Everon.
Dan, the criticism from the Republican right, which began to simmer yesterday, boiled over on the Senate floor today. At one point, conservative Republican Jesse Helms said that the administration's explanation of what happened was simply untrue. While Democrats were not as critical as Helms and others on the right, there was skepticism, and from the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, the promise of an investigation.
Full facts have not yet been laid out to us or to the American people, and we intend to get to the bottom of it.
The intelligence has not been adequate, the strategy has not been adequate, the contingency plans have not been in place.
Bob, can President Bush and his men stop all this question asking, or is there likely to be an investigation of the charges made by Senator Helms and others?
I think there's going to be more than one investigation. Senator Boren is planning to have the Intelligence Committee look into this. Senator Nunn, the chairman of the Armed Services Committee, says there are a lot of questions still to be answered. So I think this is going to be around for a while.
Thanks, Bob. Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, Leslie Stahl on surgery tomorrow on a presidential digit, and David Dow on a little rocket that thought it could.